Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be attempting annotating. So I have never been someone that likes writing in their books. I am a pristine book person. I rifle through every copy at the bookstore, making sure I have like the pristine one. And so the thought of writing in my books is horrific to me. I only ever wrote in my books when my teacher literally forced us to in school. And while I do understand that I comprehended the text much better, the book was then ugly and ruined and I could never look at it again. But lately I've been coming around, I see all these videos of people making their books really beautiful, all the tabs, and if there's one thing about me, I love stationery. I'm a recovering stationery addict, but I can sense it coming where I want to delve back into that world, and I see all this annotating supplies and I want to be part of it. I've restrained myself greatly, but on a more serious note, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about how great it is if you do book reviews or booktube and you can kind of refer back really easily. I've also been reading some of my old books, and whenever I reread a favorite, I really wish that I had my original thoughts, and I kind of got that when I've read Crescent City in a reading vlog, and I really enjoyed being able to see all my thoughts as I went through it. And especially as I've moved to being more of a Kindle reader, I often highlight stuff on my Kindle, and I don't know that I ever really revisit it, but it's a lot of fun to me to highlight little bits and bobs, and then I know that if I ever reread that, I'm going to really enjoy it, and it's quite quick. So I think as much as I would love to be someone that does a whole annotation art in their book, I don't think that's going to be me. I wish it was, but I don't think it's going to be me. So I've decided to take the plunge today, and I know now that a book I'm not going to be getting rid of is Crescent City 2, A House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. And so I'm going to be annotating this one, which is a crazy choice because this is a really hardcover. I don't know why I did that. You guys know what a hardcover is. You don't need to hear it knocking off my hollow skull. It's going to be a bit unpleasant, but I'm really excited for this, and I think it'll be really fun to be able to look back on. I've got some supplies ready. I tried not to go all out, but I've got this little bag I've repurposed, so I'll show you guys what I have in here. So the only thing I bought was some sticky tabs. I do really like the idea of being able to match the tabs to the book. My favorite color is blue, in case you couldn't tell, and it'll go really well with the book, which is nice. And then I'd like to be able to reference quotes and stuff, and I'm gonna try not to go too crazy with the stickies because I do see people with all these sticky tabs. I'm like, how do you you can't just flip to something, you don't know what it is, but we'll see how well that goes. It's a very long book, so I don't know. And then I also have some sticky notes, which I don't know if I'm going to start off by writing in the book. I will. I've seen those. I don't know if you guys have seen them. They're the clear sticky notes you can get to put over the book. I was going to get those, and I was like, no, Fal, be real. Just write in the book. But I think this will be really nice if I have some kind of extended thoughts. And I've seen Chloe with books, or Chloe Bunny, I think she is now. She's kind of gotten some inspiration on what kind of system to use from her. And I love something she does, which is, I think it's every 50 pages, she puts a post-it and kind of writes down her thoughts, which I've been doing as I've been reading for BookTube, where I will write down all my thoughts 50 pages, every 50 pages. But I think it'll be fun to kind of do that in the book this time. Then I have these two pens for underlining, writing little notes in the margins, and then a highlighter. I do think I'm going to get a different highlighter because I hate yellow. It's an abhorrent color, and this vibrant shade is offensive to my eyes. But I'll probably get a blue one because it's my brand, as you see. But yeah, I'm trying not to buy too much, especially in case I don't actually like it, as I pull out an entire portable stationery station. I promise I didn't buy any of this. I've had all this for ages. But yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've been kind of wanting to do a reading vlog for Crescent City, Sky and Breath, and yeah, Sky of House and Breath. House of Sky and Breath. Well, I've also been wanting to do a reading vlog for House of Sky and Breath because I really enjoyed doing it with Crescent City. I had a lot of fun kind of watching through the clips as I was editing it, so I think it'll be a lot of fun to kind of have this record of when I read this for the first time as well. So I thought it'd be fun to combine with this and another book off my physical TBR. So I will be back to you guys when I have an update. Alright guys, I've done it. I've made my first annotation. Hi guys, I am back with an update. So this video was definitely supposed to be more of like a vlog with check-ins. It didn't end up being that just because life got in the way, but I'm back again. So I have finished Crescent City 2, House of Sky and Breath, and I've annotated it. So very exciting. So I just wanted to walk you guys through kind of what my system ended up being, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the book and annotating. So I know in the last clip I did mention that I needed to get new highlighters. I did end up getting the classic mild liners. I kind of surprised myself because I didn't end up highlighting that much. I underlined in the color a lot because it has like a dual tip pen, so it has a highlighter on this side and then like a fine point on the other side, so I found that really helpful. So as I was going through the book and reading, my system evolved. So I saw a lot of people say like start it on a post-it note, which is what I did. So here's my little like post-it note. This is the system that ended up being, but it definitely evolved. And then once I was finished, I put it into the book. I did end up doing far less tabbing than I thought. I kind of said when I started that I didn't want to be someone that had like a bajillion tabs for every single thing I highlighted because I wanted to be able to flip through quite quickly. So I did end up only having 3 tab colors. One was for romance, one was for PTSD and like learning to live basically, and then the other one was grief. So I was really excited about doing that because, you know, I would never have expected to do, well, I knew that grief and PTSD were kind of a topic from the first book, which was quite helpful, but yeah, romance obviously was going to go in there. But it was quite nice not having set tabs to start out with, because if I think about it, the stuff that I'm going to want to go back and like tab through and look through to be able to get to that exact point is going to be those really like important moments of those 3 themes. Everything else, it's like if I'm flipping through, I can see what my thoughts were highlighted. So I really enjoyed kind of that aspect of as it evolved, and the tip to not start your system beforehand and just let it evolve was very difficult for me to do, but it really ended up being the best way to do it. So then for highlighting, I had a romance color, a funny color, a color that was basically just like, I really like the way this is written, whether it's like beautiful writing or just like a funny turn of phrase, some weird thing within the book, which I enjoyed. And then I had a color for grief and then a color for PTSD and like the importance of living kind of thing. So I really enjoyed that aspect and having them color coded. And then I also used my black pens to just underline stuff that I thought was a little bit interesting, and then I would sometimes do dots next to it of the highlighter color if I didn't want it to be in color. It didn't always make sense, and sometimes I would tend to underline it in black if it was just like something I wanted to look at, underline smaller parts in the color, and then highlight it if it was really important or just like a word kind of out of that. And then I wrote a lot in the margins, honestly, more than I thought. I wrote theories, I wrote different, you know, observations, all that kind of stuff. And then I definitely I hated the process of doing it, but I'm very glad I did do it, which was every 50 pages writing a little synopsis, because I ended up taking like a 3 or 4 month break from reading this book. Just other stuff happened. It wasn't because of the book. So that was really helpful when I jumped back in, because I didn't miss anything, which was really, really nice. Overall, it was a fun experience. I did see people saying like, don't do it with a fantasy book or a book that's really long, because this is an 800-page book. So at times it was a little bit exhausting, especially honestly, I found writing the synopsis was the most annoying part, because like you just want to keep reading sometimes, and especially to relax. I was like, I don't want to have to write out this thing, but I'm really glad I did. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it all turned out. And yeah, I'm really excited I did this. I'm definitely going to do it for the next one in the series, and I'm excited to do it for other books that I'm reading. So now for my thoughts on Crescent City 2. I didn't enjoy this as much as the first book, honestly. I think the middle kind of went on for ages, and there was a lot of side plots that kept getting introduced that then kind of faded off or seemed like they were going to be a really big thing, and then they weren't, which was really disappointing. And then I also found that a lot of the male characters, like we have so many different POVs, and I love a POV, but like all the male characters, it's basically just Bryce and all her male friends, which is fine, but it just got a little bit much sometimes. And I didn't love, sometimes I feel like because this started as an adult series rather than Sarah J Maas's other series that started as YA, it's like she's trying to use up all of her swear word like count that she can get. Like she's like, oh, now that it's R-rated, I can just swear as much as I want. Like there's a lot of childish swearing. The banter sometimes felt a little bit stupid, like Bryce was just a bit childish, and it does get a little bit exhausting when like everyone around her is in love with her. Everyone around her thinks she's the most magical person ever and like loves her so much. It just bothered me sometimes. I'm like, okay, can she not just have a normal friend that doesn't want to sleep with her? Like, it's just a lot. And that she's like the most gorgeous woman in the city, which is a little bit annoying sometimes. But overall, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the relationships that kind of came out of it. I'm going to do some spoilery talk now, so if you want to read this, I'll put up a little spoiler warning so you don't watch the next bit. Oh my goodness, the ending. This book probably would have been lower if it wasn't for the ending, but the ending definitely bumped it up a star or 2 for me, honestly. I did know that the ending was going to be coming, which is that
the ACOTAR world and Crescent City like mix, but I didn't realize how it was going to happen. So that was really interesting, and like I was super excited and giddy. I know a lot of people were disappointed that this series had like meshed with ACOTAR, especially because it's become such a huge thing, but I read ACOTAR like as it was coming out, and so it's been like a favorite series of mine for so long. So I'm always excited to see those characters again, and I do think it was done in a really interesting way. I think it's going to be a lot of fun seeing how Bryce interacts with those characters, because I had thought that it was Nesta that comes over to the Crescent City world, so that was quite exciting. I also think in the final battle scene kind of thing, it was a little bit silly how easily it all went down. I did like the plot twist and stuff and like the secret agent thing, but the fact that only one of the Astery was there and the rest of them were preoccupied just didn't make a lot of sense to me, and I don't know. It just felt a little silly, and it felt like it wrapped up very quickly. It was like, usually Sarah J Maas's endings are really big, and this was quite small, and it was so clearly a trap. So I don't know, it just kind of irked me a little bit. It just felt a little bit rushed, but I really enjoyed it overall. I am going to read the next one. I was originally planning on reading the next one further away, and after like the kind of cliffhanger ending, I need to read it much quicker. But yeah, overall, I'm very happy that I annotated this book. It's probably a book I'm going to reread, and I'm really excited to see my thoughts and like flip through it. I've already really enjoyed just looking at it, so reading it is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I would highly recommend annotating your own books. It's a really nice way to engage with the text, and I'd say my big tips are kind of think about stuff that you like about the book. And it's difficult, like for this it was super nice to do it as a second in the series because I already knew kind of what themes to look out for, but I would definitely just think about the stuff that you find interesting. If you don't really care about the romance, you don't need to you don't need to have time for that. That doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? So I think I was kind of swayed a little bit by, at the beginning, like what other people's systems were and what quotes. A lot of people have like a quotes tab, and I was like, I don't like a quote. What am I, if I like the quote, I'm just going to write it down in my like quote book. I don't really need it to be like highlighted in there. I know you have a separate tab for that kind of thing. So I'm really glad that I just kind of thought about the stuff that I was really interested in and the dynamic of that. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys annotate your books, and if you have any tips for me, I would love to hear them. And yeah, I can't wait to continue annotating more of my books as I'm reading. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope we'll see you guys in another one soon. Bye!